Hey everybody, we're GFBS. We're Grand Forks' best source, and it is a Dirty Thursday with the Bullring Boys. Well, at least half of the Bullring Boys. We'll call it the Bullring Boy today. Chad Hoff is out of commission.
Got the sniffles?
Chad got the COVID. Believe it or not, Chad is maybe going to be calling in here a little bit later on the show. Show today brought to you by your auto equipment experts. Check them out, Auto Equipment Experts in Grand Forks for all your car equipment needs. They're an AC Delco distributor for auto parts and so much more. They also sell and service all major brands of tire machines, wheel balancers, hoists, air compressors, pretty much anything you need to stock your shop, or for all you weekend warriors, it's where you go to stock up that garage too. Locally and employee-owned, check them out, Auto Equipment Experts, 5036 10th Avenue South and North in Grand Forks. You can call them up too, 701-757-2500. Or go to AutoEquipmentExperts.com. Auto Equipment Experts open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Forgot to mention who's on the show today from River City Speedway, Brad Seng and Darren Evavold. Get a little applause there. Any questions or comments? You know our number, 701-213-0863. Well, before we get too much further into the show, it is time now for our daily segment called Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. Here we go, Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. So a blonde and a brunette were watching the news, and the newscaster says 2 Brazilian civilians were rescued from terrorists. Well, the brunette says, that's great news. Well, the blonde says, well, I don't know where they expect to move them to. Do you know have any idea how many a Brazilian is? That all I'm going to get out of you all day today, or what?
That's your best joke.
Well, I have one about the New York Yankees, but I wanted to save that one for Monty tomorrow. How you doing, Brad Seng?
Good. How about you, John?
Good. Your racing season is not over.
No, you know what? I always want it to be done, but then there's always that one last one. So we're going to pack our car up, and we're going to run down to Ogilvie, Minnesota tomorrow and run one of Chris Steppin's shows, FYE show.
Oh, sure.
So he's instrumental in the Sites race weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does a lot of duties around here. He just runs a nice program.
Yeah, and that reminds me too. I do have a picture of the new car of yours here. I'll have you autograph it so we can get rid of the old one.
Okay.
Although I'm so used to the blue. Darren Evavold, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You know, it's so weird how the racing season goes because, you know, you go into the Sites weekend and it's brutal. I mean, it's a lot. You're there a lot. It's a long 3 days, and then you have the one more week left. And it seems like people are ready for racing to be done. And then after the first week, like me, the first Friday night, I'm like, I'm okay with it. But by the second Friday, and it's 80 degrees out, it's like, man, we should still be going. Seems like that happens every year. Have you ever thought maybe running longer or not? We got a no over there.
Well, I mean, everybody's looking for a race fix after a couple weeks.
Right.
But it's seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all sporting seasons are seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's time for University of North Dakota football and hockey. Right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
We would like to have some of those 80-degree days at some point in time during the season, and we had plenty hot ones, obviously, but the season's the season, and we're happy to say that we got in 20 race programs. I think we had 24 scheduled. So
Yeah, I mean, it was a great year, considering we were in a drought and the heat was unbelievable this summer, but why the hell is it that it always has to rain on a Friday night? Why can't it rain Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, help out the track a little bit, but nah, it's got to rain on Friday.
And Friday at 4.
Yeah, Friday at 4. One thing, though, about River City Speedway, it doesn't matter. When we see this rain come in, these guys that prep this track, they do an incredible job.
Yeah, I mean, from track prep to ticket takers to concession people, I'm speaking on behalf of Darren and Bill and Linus that it takes all of them to make this circus go round. You know? So I want to say thank you to all those people that help us, and hopefully they enjoy their experiences and want to come back and help us again next year.
You know, that's the thing about the race fans here at River City Speedway. Well, any racetrack I've been to this past summer, man, they're rabid. I mean, the race fans are a whole different breed, aren't they?
yeah, they're passionate, right? they're committed, and that's the neat thing. You know, I've been involved with River City Speedway now for 23 years, and if I've learned one thing, the racing community is passionate and they're committed people. If need be, they come together and help one another, and that's I think what's neat about the spirit of racing in the Greater Grand Forks community. Fierce competitors for sure, and that's why, you know, we're known for the kind of program we put on.
You know what I really like about River City Speedway is when you get the classes that are not regulars here. Yeah, you know, when you run the special shows, you get some of these IMCA guys up here, or some of these drivers that don't get to come here very often, and you never hear a bad thing from them. I mean, it's always like, this has always been where I've wanted to come and race. This is where I want to come, and I finally got to make it up here. And especially if they make it into RideLCar.com Victory Lane, the guys that don't get to come up here very often, they absolutely love this bullring.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to, you know, to the guy, the track prep, the layout that Wayne and Donnie and Darren and Linus, before I got involved, you know, the track, whether they wanted the track shaped like that or just by luck it got shaped like that, it produces some unbelievable racing.
Yeah, and you talk about Donnie. I think he took off for Arizona yesterday, and I'm sure it's killing him because they put the beet harvest back. And I know he wants to be hanging around at the Mac Farm Shop, but Donnie's on his way to Arizona. Another thing this year that was a little bit different, some different shows. Let's start with that Wayne Anderson Cup.
Yeah, that was something that's probably been on the radar for too long. We should have probably done something to honor the great Wayne Anderson, right? I mean, for all that he's done for racing in general, particularly with the NOSA Sprints, being the godfather of NOSA Sprint cars. I'm happy to say that we were able to put something together and make it happen. And you sort of look at that event like the Sites Memorial. I mean, the Sites Memorial has evolved over time, right? Mm-hmm. And so we'll keep working with that event to honor a guy like Wayne. And it's fun to say that, you know, we finally got it on the schedule. And I guess that's what I'm proud about. I think River City Speedway principals are proud about the fact that we did something a little bit different. And, you know, when Brad and Bill came on board, you know, some new ideas arrived. Mm-hmm. And it's always good to throw around those ideas to make things better. And we'll continue to do that kind of stuff. I think we've been doing the right thing by adding events like that and doing the street stock tour, and we did the Midwest the Rebel tour.
The Rebel tour, and you
got some help from local racers like Jim Mahar and others, and so for that I'm thankful. That's, I think, going to be a staple moving forward.
You know, it's always cool when I'm up in the booth and I'll get a note saying, you know, oh, by the way, and I'm just going to use this for an example, Big Al's Construction is throwing in another so much money. When that happens, that just brings the interest up even a little bit more.
I think so. As a racer, I'm sure it brings up the interest, right, Brad?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for the most part, I think this street stock tour was kind of created to offset what these guys, you know, race for on a local Friday night at a lot of racetracks. They got a lot of investment in their cars.
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, these street stocks are pretty sophisticated and pretty badass cars, right? But they race for nothing.
Right.
And especially when they come to River City Speedway, you have two premier classes that we would love to pay them more. And the thing, I mean, and they are probably week in and week out the best feature.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, are they the best? No. But I would say over a course of 20 shows, 10 of them, the street stock feature was.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, the street stocks, they have come a long way. You know, when the street stocks first came out, it was supposed to be kind of an affordable way to get into racing. And like you said, these cars now have turned to be pretty sophisticated. There's no such thing, I don't think, it doesn't matter what class you're racing, is a cheap race car anymore if you want the good stuff. But you're right. I mean, those street stock guys, before it used to kind of be, in my opinion, a little boring. I thought these last 3-4 years, the street stocks, they just get better and better and better. You know, we got like the Carters coming and some of these guys, you know, that don't come here very often. And I like that because it maybe shows the locals, okay, maybe I got to step it up just a little bit more. But bringing some of these guys in for these bigger shows, That just kind of sets the whole bar a little bit higher.
Well, exactly. And, I take a look at, I take nothing away from none of our street stock guys because I'll put them up against anyone in Wissota any day, anytime.
Yeah.
But the one that I get a kick out of is Justin Vogel.
Yeah.
He, the back road challenge or whatever. And he's up on stage saying, hey, I didn't come here not to put a show, you know, so he gets it. It's like, I didn't come here not to put a show on. I'm going to the back, and the crowd just eats that stuff up. And he's another one. He goes, I'm 3.5 hours away, and it's the best 3.5 hours when I know I'm coming here. Mm-hmm. He said, if this track was just a little closer, he said, this thing is...
Be here every Friday.
He'd be every Friday, yeah.
We're going to talk about more of the John Seitz Memorial. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But right now, talk about Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Life doesn't seem to ever slow down. Everything needs to be done like now. Well, when it comes time for an oil change, stop into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Most of their oil changes are done within 15 minutes. I was there last week. I don't think it even took that long. They also do tranny and coolant flushes, tire rotations, and batteries. Now, when they checked my oil, they also topped off my fluids. They checked my tires, my battery, my lights, my wipers, my cabin air filter. And another thing cool about Valvoline Instant Oil Change, now you'll get discounts for fleets. And if you're in the military, they got a discount. You can text and email invoices and coupons. But what I think is the best thing, if you mention Grand Forks Best Source, when you get your oil change, they'll knock off $10 off the cost. They're open 7 days a week, no appointment needed. Pickup and delivery is available if you live in Grand Forks. Come on into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It's a complete oil change and more. 3325 South 38th Street, or you can call them up 701-780-8462. But make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you. Back with Brad Seng and Darren Evavold from the River City Speedway. Of course, part owners of the Speedway. There it goes. High heels. On a guy. Anyway, not only part owner, but racer. I want to talk a little bit about the John Seitz. 3 days. It's the 3 days we so much look forward to. But we finally got a 3-time winner now.
Yeah, not only did he win 3 times, he about lapped the field.
Yup. Okay, if I remember right, I think you finished 6th.
Yeah.
And you got spun out at the finish line.
Yeah, I went the fastest I did the last half of
Before
the race when he pushed me across.
Now, I know you and AJ get along pretty good.
Very good, yeah.
What was said after that?
Well, in his defense, I would have done the same thing, right? And his deal is you know what? I've him thinking back, and you can look with him and Aaron last year, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think he was involved in another one where he finished second just by whatever.
Yep.
Okay, so now that's going through his mind when I'm slowing him up, and he says, I heard a car. Well, what he heard was Mike Gresseth, who he had just lapped,
Yeah.
gassing up on the car, and he says, you know what? All I can think of is how close these finishes are in 92 laps. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to let this one slip away.
Yeah, because, think about it. These 92 lappers, for as long as I can remember, they are done like that.
Isn't that something?
And thank goodness for the computers now, because once that thing gets going about 5-10 laps in, if you take your eyes off that racetrack for 1 second, it takes you another minute to figure out where the heck's the leader again. Thank goodness for the computers, but these shows go so fast. I was thinking maybe we were going to have a 3-time in a row winner, but it didn't work out that way. But, man, now it's got the bar set for guys like you and a lot of the other, there's a few 2-time winners.
Yeah, there's 3 of us now, and we'd like to have, a lot of first-timers, Mm-hmm. It's, you don't understand the emotion or the hard work and the luck to be able to stand on that stage and say, I just won the John Seitz Memorial.
Yeah.
$9,200. It starts on Thursday. And you know what? You need to put yourself, you just need to get into the feature and put yourself in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wouldn't say start 26th. That's a good spot. But if you can get up in those first 5 rows, right, kind of save your stuff and make sure you're there in the end.
And that 9,200 to win, that's just the one race. So, these guys are going to win a little bit more money over the weekend, too.
Oh, yeah, AJ won Thursday.
Yep.
And did he win no, he got second in the dash.
Yep.
he walked out of here with some
Yeah.
hay again.
Another thing I wanted to commend you guys on, the phone started blowing up on the afternoon of 9/11. We did a tribute. Race car drivers, like they used to do back in the day, all along the racetrack on the backstretch for the anthems. We did a little remembrance thing, but I tell you what, when I was reading that stuff, I actually stole a little bit from S&S Transport, and then I stole a little bit from another thing, and I came up with this deal, but I'm reading it. I'm damn near in tears reading this thing because, I mean, I remember exactly what I was doing, where I was, what I was doing when I was at work. When the whole 9/11 thing went down, and after 20 years, a lot of people seem to think, well, maybe they forget about it. But that's another thing about racetracks and race fans. They don't forget about stuff that has to do with the good old US of A.
No, and for the most part, I mean, if it wasn't for our military and we wouldn't be sitting here right now doing this show. You know.
Absolutely right. Some of the changes, maybe you noticed, you got that the new scoreboard in the middle of the racetrack now. I mean, we had it there the season before, but not up to the capabilities of what it was able to do. But I tell you what, that thing really adds a lot to the racing program to be able to look at that. Don't you think?
Yeah, anytime you add technology, it becomes in addition to a program which is second to none. So the streaming, the video board, got the new amp this year with some new mics.
Yes.
The Bullring Boys are evolving, right? All of that stuff is important. And it's important because we even got the old scoreboard to count down. Right?
Yep.
That took a little bit of investment to do that kind of stuff because we needed to. And it's surprising how many people, still recognize, that old scoreboard in the back as well. Because we're running ads and signage and
I'm
race
sure the
monitor and all that
drivers
stuff.
all look at that scoreboard.
I've often wondered when you point and click with the software, the racers are so focused, sometimes you pick a wrong flag or whatever. Do they notice that video board at all?
On the front straightaway?
Yeah.
Under yellow, you'll look up there and see. You can kind of look to see how far the guy behind you is, just off the time. If he's 0.384, he's right there. If he's 1 point whatever, it's like, I had some breathing room. So
yeah, that middle scoreboard, that helps me as far as my job goes too. We do have a text here. Somebody says, ask Brad if he backed into his parking spot today. Minus 12 F. What the hell does that mean?
I'd have to think about that one.
Okay.
For a while.
Another improvement that I thought of because, I like beer. That new beer that you guys had. It was was it Half Brothers?
Half Brothers, River City's beer.
Ooh, good stuff.
The classic pale ale.
Yeah. I'm just a light beer guy, but that stuff is pretty good. And I heard is going to be around all next year with the River Cities Speedway label, I believe.
That's my understanding. We'll have, we'll be able to brand our own beer with the help from Half Brothers, who's McKinnon is the distributor, obviously, on that product. So, isn't it neat? River City Speedway each and every year comes up with something slightly different, right? I alluded to new ideas, and I'm excited for the border to open and for our Canadian friends to come back because we've forgotten about that. We've ran 2 race programs without the neighbors to the north, right? And so I'm sure we'll put our head together and figure out different things to do to get them back down here.
Get them back
right?
and feel welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I happened to see something on the news this morning with whatever that numbskull's name is, Trudeau up there. And he said that they're working on easing the restrictions now for the Canadians to come down here. Basically, you're going to have to be vaccinated, but it sounds like they're easing that up a little bit. But at least we did have some Canadian drivers here this year. I know Edginton, I think he's still here, which was great for the sport here. But we did manage to get a few more come down for some of these big shows, which, at least they're giving them a chance to come down here now. Now, when they open it up, imagine with getting the rest of the Canadian drivers down here, but the fans too. I mean, the Canadian fans, you think dirt track fans are, like I said, rabid. Man, these Canadian dirt track fans, they almost take it to the next level a little bit.
They can, for sure. I mean, their passion is a match for the passion of the folks that show up each and every Friday night. And I'm hopeful that they haven't found something to do on Friday nights, Brad, so that they can join us next year. I mean, people are creatures of habit. Sometimes they find things to do. We'll find a way to recognize them, to welcome them back to the Bullring, and then we know we're back to normal, right? Then we know that everything is squared away, and we're doing what we were doing back in 2019.
And you know, I keep in contact with a lot of the Canadians through social media, but I actually talked to a guy yesterday who just retired from the service, and he said he was watching these shows when he was over in Kuwait and all over the place watching you guys here and us on the Dirty Thursday show. Now, have you guys started thinking about next season yet, or is that just way too early? I mean, like you mentioned, you know, you try to change things up every year. Has there been any ideas floating around in your heads up there about next year, maybe trying something different, or just haven't really focused on that yet?
I think the neat thing about River City Speedway is its consistency. And as it was alluded to earlier, you know, some subtle changes here and there. We'll continue on that same path. We'll look for ways to either enhance or put together, you know, some ideas for the Wayne Anderson Cup. How are we going to do that in 2022? I'm sure it's going to be very similar. Other things that we could do out there, sky's the limit, I guess.
And you know, another nice thing about this year was not having to deal so much with the pandemic crap. I mean, it seems like, you know, there were some plenty of nights at the Bullring here where there was a lot of people, and all of these diabetic, obese, and vulnerable people. I didn't hear of one person getting sick being at the River City Speedway. So that was a good thing.
2 years now, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, maybe they're just losing weight. I'm sorry, I got to laugh at that. One thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, I know the grandstand still needs some work. What's the deal on there? Does it have to be done this year, or what needs to be done? I know there's been a lot of work done already. I know there's new aluminum coming in on the one side, I believe the west end, the stuff that came from Memorial. But all of that stuff, is that going to be done by next year?
Gosh, let's ask Tommy Hofflin. That would be a project for him. When it comes to laying in that aluminum plank. The Fair Board's, you know, looking for ways, obviously with the pandemic and what we've been dealing with, starting to raise, you know, funds for restoration to the main grandstand. Those conversations continue to go on, obviously, and they will. And so hopefully something can be put together where we can, as a fair board, the Greater Grand Forks Fair Board can look for support from the community, because there's a lot of people that enjoy the Greater Grand Forks Fairgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
From the Horse Association to the Karting Association to the 4-H to the fair that happens to River City Speedway. And there's a lot of great events. I think Brad, he's part of the Horse Association, right? He owns a horse.
Oh yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
my daughter's got a horse, so
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know if it knows its name. It's Brown.
Do you ever ride?
Power?
No.
Oh, that's kind of funny. You know, every year, I'm going to call it silly season. You know, you hear rumors of guys, I'm going to get out of it. Now I've got 8 kids instead of 4, and it's time for me to slow down. You hear that every year. We got guys that get older. I mean, Tommy Corcoran, look at him. They're still plugging away, still doing a great job. Have you heard of anybody? Are they retiring? Are they done? Because I had been hearing a series of rumors. For example, Austin Pierce. Well, you know, now he's got twins, and Austin's got a pretty big family now, and he's going to get out. Well, I happened to run into Austin down at the DMV here the other day, and I said, so what's the deal? Are you coming back? And he goes, well, yeah, I got to beat Dobmeyer's record. He goes, I just ordered 2 new cars. So, he's coming back. But how cool is it when you got somebody like Mark Dobmeyer that has won 8 features in a row? That's the record, I believe, at River City Speedway. Well, now you got Austin Pierce climbing all over him with 7 in a row. That just adds to a little bit more fun with the fans, too.
Oh, can you imagine our opener next year?
Oh, man, I know.
We'll be all over that.
It's going to be a crazy one. Do you have to go?
I do have to go.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
I'll give you a
You
call
do a
later
great
today.
job. Alrighty.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Darren's got an appointment, so he's going to have to get out of here. All in all, Brad, if you were going to rate this past year, I mean, the hot weather, the raining on Fridays, the rain on the Outlaw shows, the whole Canadian border thing. If you were going to give an A, B, C, D, E, or an A, B, C, D, or an F, what would you give the season? Because I would give it an A myself.
Well, I'm that guy that probably don't ever, especially in performance and entertainment or whatever. I don't know if I would ever give it an A, because then that means there's
nowhere to move up.
What are we going to do better, right? And I always want to do better with the program and everything. So I would give it a strong B. I mean, were there nights that the racetrack wasn't exactly the raciest? Absolutely there was.
Well, that happens.
Is there nights that everyone's race car was way off and it wasn't the racetrack's fault? You don't hear that much, but I guarantee that happened, right? It's never the race car driver's fault. It's the racetrack's
Yeah,
fault.
always.
Was there too much dust one night? I mean, was the concession food cold? Was the beer warm? It's like, if we're not trying to get better, we're going to get left behind.
Sure. Makes sense. One thing I noticed, Chad, down in RedLCar.com Victory Lane, I don't think I've ever heard anybody complain about the track, especially when you're in Victory Lane. But it's funny, being the announcer, I hear a lot from a lot of people, whether it be drivers, people working there, or just fans. They all say this track is just, it's always right there. Good.
Yeah, I mean, to track prep guys, to understanding what they should, do, when they should do it. Personally, myself, the dog days of summer when that sun is still high at 7 o'clock, right? At 80 degrees, beaming down on 1 and 2.
Yep.
I don't care how much water you try to put in it. When the sun is that high and that intense, it's going to slick off. You got to wait for that sun to get below that tree line. That's when you see River City Speedway come alive.
Yep. Let's talk a little bit about your late model racing. You switched it up. You ran a blue and white car for as long as I can remember. You went to the red car this year. How would you grade your year in the car?
You know what? I've always tried to race everybody with respect. Give respect, get respect. That's how I grew up. You know what? Now that I'm a promoter, I probably race a little different. I'm not going to go wrinkle someone's fender and lose somebody.
Sure.
Over a hobby.
Right.
So, for the most part, I think I'm there every week. Guys like Dustin and Shane, they're young still. People like myself and Tom and Joey, Steve Anderson, Brody Troff-Gruben, there's some people that can pick them up and lay them down.
Oh yeah. And some of the older people you mentioned, they're the top runners.
Right. I mean, but also they also understand what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to get there; it's another to stay there.
Yes.
I mean, it's because you're the carrot, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, have I raced up front? Yes. Have I raced an 18th? Absolutely.
Sure.
I mean, that's the nature of the beast of this. You can't let the highs get too high and the lows get too low, and just this is the cards we were dealt this week.
You went from blue to red, switched everything up this year. That threw me way off. What about next year? Have you got big changes planned, or you're not going to say?
No, the story behind the blue to red was everything in our yard, with our trucking company is red.
Yep.
So I just did that.
That was pretty cool. I actually liked it a lot. It was hard to get used to at first, because, let's face it, some of these cars so good, like you and a lot of the other late model guys, all you got to do is see the car, just a glimpse of it, and you know who it is.
Yeah.
So that was a little difficult at first. It's like, that can't be right. He doesn't drive a red car, but I think it was a great season. I'm so keyed up about next year. What do you do all winter then?
Well, again, the question you asked earlier, if we had already planning for next year is, the four of us have already sat down, jotted some things down, and then we're coming back in a couple Mondays from now, and to go over some stuff, the direction we want to go. And Linus and Bill will take off for Arizona. Darren and I will be back here. But yeah, it's for me. It's not an everyday deal. But I'm constantly like, what can we do to get better? What can we do to evolve? What can we do to streamline things? One of the things I think we need to look at is our World of Outlaw nights. Is how can we spread the people out and move them through things quicker?
Yeah.
Our crowds have outgrown our grandstand at big events.
Yes, they have.
It's just little stuff like that,
That's really not a bad problem to have, though, is it?
No. It's a great problem to have. Hey, the people love the entertainment that's in front of the grandstand. Let's make them when they go down for a beer or a pop or a water or a hot dog or whatever, that the line isn't from here to the Ralph.
Right.
So with us and talking with Scott and whoever else Scott has involved with him, I think we can figure some stuff out.
I tell you what we've been doing for the last 2 seasons is I try to get something different every Friday night as far as the concessions go. I don't think I've had anything ever at River City Speedway where I said to myself, remember never to order that again. You guys got awesome food there, man. It's great.
You know what? I used to be that guy that go in the pits and I'd just get the old taco in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, I tried that brisket.
Oh, especially in the pits.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So during the sights, Red Cedar, Menominee, Wisconsin, called and said, "Hey, I was at the race. I had your brisket. Where do you get it?"
The funny thing is, that's where I discovered it, was at the concession in the pits. And you get them, and they're so big that Billy Matichek's dog or somebody usually ends up finishing mine because I can't even eat the whole thing. It's huge.
It is Scott does a phenomenal job on the food and prep and his staff, and
I think the whole staff out there at River Cities is top notch.
Yeah, I can't say enough about him. I'm really not on that side of it yet, and my goal is when I'm done with this is the people that are with us is to know everyone by first name, right?
And that's hard to do.
And not hey, It's going to be John, Scott, Brad.
So. Too bad Chad Hoff couldn't make it in today. The other half of the Bullring Boys. I tell you what, him and I have a lot of fun up there. We're starting to gel more and more all the time, but that's really fun when you can get the crowd involved and we're barking at each other back and forth, and you never know where he's at. He could be in the little minivan, and I wanted to bring that up too. You guys are nuts. In the minivan, during the bus races, it was so funny because we had Chad mic'd up, but we could hear you screaming over there as you were driving, and I thought you were going to maybe scare him a little bit more, but how fun was that, tailing these buses and running around with all these big pieces of machinery?
Well, it was a lot of fun, It was just another element, another thing that we can do. You guys talking back and forth, so I thought, you know what, let's just go in the back of the heat races and feature, and you can talk Well, then all of a sudden, the one bus was coming around to lap us. And I was like, now what do I do? So I actually had to pass the bus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's get out of here. So, yeah.
We got a couple of texts here. Smalls, Alarid. Let's bring some demo derby here and more bus races. Jenny Lynn 84 says Blaine will be cheesed to see Brad on today. And Smalls also says, I agree. The staff is great. The food is amazing. All of that stuff. It's always good to hear good stuff.
Oh, there wasn't one negative comment there. And that's what it's about. You know what? We pride ourselves in testament to you, whatever time you hit play for the national anthem, I guess it must be pretty spot on. That first heat's rolling out. Mm-hmm. And our goal is, and you know this, is we cannot have our people there. We'd like them to get home to watch some of the news.
Sure.
That's the key.
You know, and Mother Nature doesn't always let that happen. Things do happen, but all in all, we got out of there. I mean, I could remember nights at the John Sites not getting out of there till 1:30. And I mean, I left immediately after we were done wrapping up the show. We didn't have anything even close to that this year.
No, and you know, for the specials, I get it. You know, people want to be entertained, and you know what? The witching hour of the sites to us is 11:30. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And how much fun is it being back in the pits for 3 days with these guys?
Oh, yeah, and then you get over to the
fun part of the pits.
The fun part of the pits. And just think like you said, when these Canadians come back, they got their own province.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And next year, I plan on taking Friday off, just so you know that, Katie, of the John Sites, because that's what I used to do when I was in radio. It got to be too much. I want to be able to go to the pits afterwards and have fun and mingle and do all this stuff. But, you know, when you got to get up in the morning, the next morning, it's not easy to do. But I can't wait till next year. It just gets better and bigger every year at River City Speedway. And hats off to you and the other track owners, you and Darren and Linus and Bill. You guys continue to do an amazing job. And it's one of the reasons why it's the best dirt track in the country.
Yeah, I mean, again, it takes all of us, not just us four. It takes all of us to make this crazy thing go around.
Ask you one more question.
Yeah.
Got time for a cold one before you leave?
Sure.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in, man.
Oh, that was the question.
That was the question. Brad Seng, not only is he an NLRA late model driver, but also one of the track owners here at River City Speedway. And thanks again to Darren Evavold for coming on in with Brad today. This was an incredible season at River City Speedway. Next year promises to be even better. I can't wait. Hey, I'd like to give a special shout out to Rumor Sports Bar and Casino right across the hall here in the Grand Cities Mall. Love the place, especially now with college sports going on. You want to catch the UND Fighting Hawks hockey team or the football team or the Minnesota Vikings or your favorite team? Tell you what, they've got wall-to-wall TVs in Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. Go in and check it out. They've got express lunches. They've got dinner specials. Don't forget about Fiesta Fridays every Friday and a lot of great things. Home of the world famous beer tower. Wednesday is my favorite day, by the way. $3 pounders all day long. All right. Rumor Sports Bar and Casino, BT, and the whole crew over there. Thanks for helping us put on this Dirty Thursday show. Hey, later today, it's Midwest Super Pixel Pros at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, your morning update. And, of course, the best forking sports arena sports show at 11. Hey, remember to like, share, tag, and follow us. Hit that notification bell on your smartphone, too. And we are now on Rumble. Check it out. Grand Cities is an awesomely groovy place. Grand Forks' best source is giving it an identity again.